Yo, what is up, guys? It is Gray Sage, and right now we are doing What If Naruto Had Katakuri's Powers, part, I think it's 4. Is it? I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's 4, so yeah. Now, I hope you guys do enjoy this What If. I feel like this is gotta be one of my most popular What Ifs, considering the fact that no one, I don't think anyone has done the Katakuri. I don't think so. But yeah. I really hope you guys are enjoying the story so far. I will try to get more into, Naruto's development with his, power, or Katakuri's power. I'll try to get more in development in that, as well as try to get him to learn Conqueror's Haki. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of stuff going on, and especially since it's the tuning exams, so yeah. But either way, besides all that, let's begin. Let's go.
She gripping that dick like she was a lost star. She party at night like she was a rock star. She singing my song like Bella-dee-da. She calling me daddy, but not her father. Little bit limit that she like big as some water. Could give you the world with the wave of a wand. We fairly hard, bitch, Cosmo and Wanda.
Alright, guys, let's begin this video. So we begin our story with Team 7 that had just recently gotten back to the Hidden Leaf Village. Alright, guys, well, looks like since we're done with the mission, how about you guys go ahead and enjoy your time off. I'm gonna go ahead and go report to the Hokage. At this, all the members of Team 7 nod, with Kakashi vanishing in a Shunshin. Now, with this, Sakura would return to Sasuke and instantly ask him for a date, but Sasuke declines and begins to walk away. However, Naruto, who had been paying attention, actually looks at Sasuke's hands and sees them getting clenched. His superiority complex is getting way too much. If this continues on, he might be considered a flight risk. Especially since the news of the last Uchi had spread throughout all the villages, many people might want to get him on his side. I better report this to the Hokage when I get the chance. So at this, Naruto decided that he was going to go ahead and go to the Hokage's office. However, he will do that on a later date, considering the fact that, he wanted to train first. Naruto began to walk away. However, suddenly he would then be bombarded with 3 individuals. This being Konohamaru and the rest of the Konohamaru Corp. Konohamaru, I could obviously see you inside that box, so can you come out with your little friends? At this, Konohamaru appears and he's like, "Big bro Naruto!" Hey, big bro Naruto, Konohamaru would say. At this, Naruto would only sigh. He could already tell what Konohamaru was going to tell him. I'm sorry, Konohamaru, but I cannot play ninja with you. At this, Konohamaru begins to, palace. He then says, "Why not? Come on, play ninja with us." Naruto was about to retort, however, suddenly a voice would then come in. "A ninja playing ninja? Are you so dumb, Naruto?" At this, Naruto would turn to see Sakura. As she just under Naruto's glance, she felt already uncomfortable. Naruto just had that presence that demanded respect. And she, knowing her, she didn't really do that. "Sakura, I would like to know, what does that have to even do with you? And why are you even following me? Do you have somewhere to go ahead and stalk Sasuke?" Naruto would ask in a cold and calm tone. At this, Sakura would just, get angry. However, she can't really do anything, and she already knew that Naruto was, one by far stronger than her. So, she just settled for a glare and began to huff. I was not following you, I was just going somewhere else. And you just happened to be in a similar direction. Now, Naruto would just ignore her, as Konohamaru would then go ahead and raise up his pinky. "Hey boss, is that your girlfriend?" "No." That was all Naruto said. As he goes ahead and tells Konohamaru to come walk with him, if that's okay with him. Now at this, Konohamaru would be happy, considering the fact that, he rather much, even though he did want to play ninja, it's better than not spending time with his big bro. So with that, Naruto began to walk off. However, Sakura would then speak up one more time. Why did you say it like that?" Naruto would stop walking and turn to her. "What do you mean? You said it so quick, so calm. It's almost as if you don't even care." At this, Naruto would begin to think as he then finally speaks up. "You're right. I do care. for my teammates. But you as a person, you're a stranger to me. I don't really care about you at all. That's the only thing. The only connection between us is Team 7, and that's it. Sakura will be in shock of Naruto's words. Naruto, even though Naruto had changed a lot, she expected him to at least, still value friendship and everything. No, he didn't even see her as a friend, just as a teammate, and that's it. At this, Konohamaru had to just open his mouth in this situation. I knew boss could always do much better than you, especially with that big forehead and that flat chest. Please, you could be mistaken for... However, Konohamaru did not get a chance, considering the large blood list that was sent to the kid's way. However, to Naruto, it wasn't really much. Konohamaru, you just sealed your own fate, thought Naruto. However, he still remembered. He still stand vigilant, arms crossed and everything. What did you say, you brat? She would say. At this, Konohamaru will begin to run, including also accompanied by his friends, as they also begin to run off. However, this is when Naruto would actually get a vision. What? He would then go ahead and turn to the direction, considering the fact that he had just seen Konohamaru get bumped into someone, and that was where it ended. He goes ahead and chases after them, and him being, Naruto, he was already able to catch up to them, until he sees where Konohamaru bumps into the person. Shit, I didn't make it in time. Now at this, we see Kankuro, who had just, been the person that Konohamaru bumped into, as he lifts Konohamaru by the collar. And just what the heck is wrong with you, twerp? At this, all the members would stop running, and actually begin to get fear, especially Sakura, considering the fact that she was sort of the reason for all this happening. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for bumping into you. Please let me go. Konohamaru would ask. However, Kankuro would then say, no, you need to be taught a lesson. At this point, Temari would then speak up. Kankuro, this is a bad idea. However, Kankuro would ignore his sister. He then says, brats like you need to learn a lesson. However, just in an instant, Kankuro would then feel a presence just appear right in front of them. This would shock everyone, as right now in front of him was a boy with blonde hair and blue eyes, and he was at least 3 inches taller than him. Why you run along, little lamb? Said Naruto, as he goes ahead and catches Konohamaru, who almost hit the ground. Are you alright, Konohamaru? At this, Konohamaru would nod and instantly get behind his big bro. I would like to ask you a question. What made you go overreact to a child bumping into you? Are you so pathetic that you go ahead and assault someone just because they accidentally bump into you? At this, Kankuro will get mad. He then says, oh yeah? Then at this, Naruto however shut him up, as he goes ahead and narrowed his eyes, as he sends a bunch of killing intent. Choose your next words carefully. Naruto already knew the words Kankuro were about to say, and he wanted to make sure that he knew the next words that he popped out of his mouth better be the right ones, or else he might just kill him on accident. At this, Kankuro just, actually gulps, as he then thinks, it almost equaled Gaara's. Is he like him? However, suddenly a voice would then speak up. Kankuro, that's enough. You're an embarrassment to the village. At this, Kankuro and everyone then turned to the direction. However, Naruto already narrowed his eyes and moved his eyes to it. At then, a boy with red hair and a gourd on his back would then appear, as he then disappeared in a sand shunshin and appear in front of Kankuro, Temari, and Naruto. Sorry, please excuse my teammates. At this, Naruto would just narrow his eyes. He then thinks, how odd. I sense something. He'll go ahead and narrow his eyes even further, considering the fact that this man Gaara had an aura that came off of him. He knew about this aura thing, considering the fact that it practically just combining your bloodlust and your willpower, all of it in one. So it sort of goes ahead and gives you a presence and everything. But this man Gaara, his thing was just, already demanding things, saying that like he was a psycho. None taken, said Naruto. However, at this moment, Sasuke Uchiha had to make himself known, so he would jump down the branch as well. Someone else followed. I should have expected much. Naruto knew that Sasuke had been trying to follow him, so it only made sense that he was sort of following them from behind. Alright. At this point, Gaara would actually be looking at Naruto. He even thinks he's strong. Very strong. What's your name? Said Gaara out loud this time. At this, all of them will then look at Naruto, who goes ahead and speaks. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. And yours? I am Sabuko no Gaara. At this, both of them will look at each other. As people who was actually watching this already can feel the tension building up. These two are monsters, thought Kankuro, as well as Tamari, who had the same thought in his mind. At this, Gaara will then begin to walk away as he then says, I will enjoy killing you in the Chunin exams. At this, Naruto would just look at him and then says, we'll see. I can't really tell I can already tell certain things. And that is being that I'm not currently on your level. At least, not yet. Now, that is something that Naruto had to admit. Even though he's pretty strong already, he is still not on Gaara's level. Considering the fact that, well, don't get me wrong, his speed and power, it's good and everything. It's just the fact that Gaara is like, and the man's like, yeah, he's just like slightly more powerful than Naruto. But still. So at this, Gaara would just nod as he goes ahead and walks off. Sasuke wanted to go ahead and say his name, but Gaara just ignored him, considering the fact that he was more focused on Naruto. Just what the heck? Why is he paying so much attention to the dope? Sasuke would turn to Naruto and glare at him. Naruto was not fazed by this man, considering the fact that Sasuke in Naruto's eyes was just a wannabe, well, was a child, upset because he didn't get a toy or something. Sasuke, if you would go ahead and leave me alone now, I'm gonna go off. Konohamaru, return back to the Hokage and try to go play with your friends, but be careful out there. And also, watch where you're walking. Konohamaru would nod and begin to walk away, as Naruto began to walk away as well. Sakura, now realizing that Sasuke is Sasuke's nearby, she would turn to ask Sasuke on a date. However, Sasuke had gone off. Sasuke's mind was just getting darker and darker, considering the fact that right now in the young Uchiha's mind had been nothing more but to wonder why the hell was Naruto much more stronger than him. What are these abilities of his? It made no sense. In all his time that he remembered, throughout the entire academy, Naruto had been the weakest. However, now here he is. He already beat him once. He was able to go head-to-head with Kakashi, able to handle off Zabuza for at least a moment, and was actually able to do so much more than he ever could. After the Land of Waves, Sasuke's superiority complex began to skyrocket. So, yeah, he was already becoming a flight risk. Now, Naruto would now just be walking, and he decided that now since after all that situation, he needed a good, sweet moment. So Naruto would stop at a donut stand. As soon as he walks in, the man would already give Naruto a ton of respect, considering the fact that, well, Naruto always had this presence, like I said, Naruto has gained a lot of respect, alright? He literally just looking at him, it just tells you he deserves respect. So the man would give Naruto the donuts, and Naruto would nod as he goes ahead and walks over to Ichiraku Ramen. Now, this is where we see Ayame, who's, by the way, just to let you guys know, Ayame is the same age as Naruto, so, yeah. As Naruto, when he arrives there, he goes ahead and listens to Ayame, who actually blushes each time that she's seen Asta, considering the fact, oh my god, not Asta, Naruto, considering the fact that Naruto has changed a lot. He didn't wear the orange jumpsuit anymore, and he was actually much taller. In fact, he was actually already taller than her, which actually shocked her. So, yeah. And also another thing, she also realized that Naruto was really, like, buff, right? So, pretty much, yeah, she had to admit, Naruto was pleasing to look at and seemed like a nice, calm, and nurtured man. I came for my usual, Naruto would say, in a calm tone. At this, she would nod and instantly began making ramen, and she would then return, so she would then return with the ramen to go ahead and give it to Naruto. Now Naruto would look at this. He then looks at her, and she could, even though Naruto wears a mask, oh my god, a scarf, she could obviously tell that Naruto would right now be smiling. At this, just the concept of Naruto smiling would make her blush, which Naruto had to admit, seeing that is really pleasant. Ayame was a cute girl, and he didn't really mind her. Plus, besides, out of everyone in this village, she wasn't obsessed with the Uchiha. So Naruto will go ahead and begin to walk off. He then once again turns around. Thank you, Ayame. I really do appreciate your help. At this, Ayame will blush, and she instantly begins to nod her head and thanks Naruto for stopping by. Now after this, Naruto will begin to have his sweet moment, as Naruto will now be back in his apartment, as he begins to open the box of donuts and the ramen, as he begins to chow them down. Oh, donuts, ramen. He will begin to chant a ramen donut song that he created, considering the fact that whenever he was alone and no one was around, he would instantly let go of that strong tension that he always shares and begin to reveal his true self, a donut ramen eating ninja. Actually, a master, actually. As he began to chow them down, after, I would say, a couple of minutes, he was done eating, especially since Naruto actually takes a while to finish eating, considering the fact that he likes to savor the moment. So after throwing it all away, he gets up and now puts on his jacket and puts on his facade once more time. Time to get back to training, Naruto thought. As he exits out his apartment, he will once again go to the Forest of Death. The tuning exams are going to be held here. I guess my team will be okay. However, the only person I need to worry about is Sasuke. Sakura, I wasn't really worried about her a lot, considering the fact that the worst that she can even do is actually try to interfere in someone else's battle and accidentally get them killed. Actually, now thinking about that, that's actually getting Naruto a little bit worried, considering the fact that out of everyone in Team 7, Sakura is well, pretty much just, well, useless. She didn't really have any jutsu. She didn't have any will to go ahead and try to get stronger. Most of the time, she was either fawning over Sasuke or just trying to get mad at him or something, which Naruto never understood. So with this, Naruto will go ahead and enters the Forest of Death, as he begins to go ahead and train with his abilities. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and explain some of the abilities that Naruto, learns. Now, number one is Naruto would learn Yakimochi, or grilled mochi. A technique that's sort of like, if you guys know Luffy, it's like his Gum Red Hawk. Is he actually was able to go ahead and learn this technique just by moving his mochi and using his haki at the same time. He was able to launch a fist of mochi that was in a haki fist made out of mochi. And due to the fact that of his haki, it goes ahead and causes friction, causing it to be sort of like a rocket punch. And also, oh my god, I keep saying also, sorry. And Naruto, being a man made out of mochi, can just go ahead and just, make a hand for himself again. So, really, the man is sort of, actually, who am I kidding? The man is OP. As Naruto would continue learning about more abilities, he will also learn how to do, I don't know how to go 100% say it right. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to say this right, but it's called Kaku Mochi or Square Mochi. Now, it's where Naruto will go ahead and is able to turn his arm. He's able to turn his arm into a square using mochi, of course, and wrapping it up in haki. He's able to go ahead and cause even more damage than he did before. This in turn causes Naruto to actually be surprised at this, considering the fact that the way when he normally punches, it's already strong enough, but when he punches with his arm like this, he punches the ground and it causes a big crater to form. Shocking, considering the fact that when he did it by his arm alone, it didn't cause a big crater. In fact, it just went through the ground. That's it. But this time, with his arms went like this, it causes a bigger crater to form. Shocking Naruto. This is powerful. At this, Naruto begins to get excited. However, he still keeps his calm and collect as he begins to train even harder. Now, this is where something interesting would happen. During the training, considering the fact that he was also training with his conquer his haki, he will also begin to learn how to use, well, even though he still doesn't know it, he'll begin to activate a certain ability. Naruto is now just currently on the ground. Okay, let me just say this, guys. If you guys hear background noises, please ignore it. That's just my family that don't know how to stop screaming. I'm pretty sure it's my little brother who keeps screaming, but still. Let me continue on. So, he goes ahead, and unbeknownst to him, however, he doesn't really know what was happening, but this sort of weird thing doesn't happen every day, so you gotta just, go with this. Now, Naruto was currently on the ground, currently taking a little break, as he actually was now craving some donuts, and he bet himself $1 million that he will get some donuts after this. As he goes ahead and puts his hand on the ground, unbeknownst to him, he accidentally activated one of his abilities. As suddenly, the ground would then begin to transform, shocking Naruto, who instantly gets up, jumping up in the air, and using some chakra, he goes ahead and attaches onto a tree. What the heck? At this, he would then look around, only to realize that the entire ground, or the area, almost the entire ground around him, had just become mochi. But how? Now, due to Naruto not really knowing this, he had just awakened more of Katakuri's power. As he used this was when Katakuri awakened his devil fruit, the mochi, of course. And this was called Nagiri Mochi, or floating mochi. I'm not 100% sure, but still, it pretty much allows him to go ahead and transform inorganic objects into mochi. So yeah, that's what Naruto does. Now Naruto would look into the ground, or the ground now that's now mochi, would actually go ahead and jump down. You would then go ahead and begin to find out just what the heck is this and what can he do. And that's when, as soon as he lands there, he then realizes something. I feel in control. He couldn't believe his eyes. He was in control of it. It was not as if he was not in control or anything. He was in control. It was almost as if it was a part of him. He could easily control it and everything. At this, he goes ahead and tries to concentrate, trying to see what he could do. And this is when he realized that the mochi begins to move, as he creates a wall made out of mochi, like a dome, that surrounds him, protecting him. I can't believe this, thought Naruto. He goes ahead and begins to experiment more with it, as he's realized that he's able to make a ceiling. He's able to trap people, and due to this, for the next couple of hours, the next hour, he actually begins to use this ability to begin to trap, kill, and defeat animals all around the force of death. Now at this, he was having a lot of fun, but he decided that now it was finally time for him to stop with that, and that he really needed to go ahead and do more. So he goes ahead and begins to concentrate, considering the fact that, it's still not done yet. As he begins to concentrate even further, he wondered what else he could do, until suddenly one word comes to his mind. Muzo donuts, he would say. As suddenly from the ground, from the mochi that was made out of the ground, he went ahead and shot 2 mochis up in the air as they begin to spin around, and they actually look like donuts. What? As suddenly, once again, he then speaks. Shikara mochi, he would say. As suddenly, from the 2 donut-shaped mochis that was just spinning in the air, 2 ginormous arms would then shoot out from them. What? As this, he was completely shocked. However, he would then realize that his arms would then envelop in a light glow, or just a light mochi, as he couldn't believe his eyes. What is this? He wondered. At this, he goes ahead and actually tries something, considering the fact that it was almost as if memories were just flowing through his mind. So at this also, Naruto will go ahead and pull back his fist, as he then punches forward, just punching the air, as this causes the right mochi fist to actually go ahead and shoot out. This would shock Naruto to such a high degree, as the mochi fist that came out of the Muzo donuts goes ahead and smashes into a tree of the Forest of Death. Now, if you guys know how large the Forest of Death trees are, then you guys should know that destroying one baby, I mean, I guess that's a cool and everything, but destroying 3, okay, because that's how many the Chikara Mochi fist that Naruto just shot destroyed. He couldn't believe his eyes. Even he, when he was training, could not do that. By himself, he literally even with the Mochi Gatling or with the Mochi elephant gun, he was not able to do this. But with this technique, he was actually able to. Just how did I? After this, he begins to get excited even more as he begins to train even further. Now, eventually it'll become nightfall as Naruto had trained a lot with his abilities. He had learned how to he actually mastered the Shikata Mochi after the end of the day, as he's actually able to go ahead and just, control it. Another thing, he's able to create multiple of those mochi arms by summoning more Muzo donuts and then creating more arms from that. That at this rate, Naruto began to think of all the ideas he could do with mochi, and he actually begins to think like at that point, could he go ahead and just do anything? What's next? Could he fly with mochi? I mean, shoot, I don't know about that, Chief, but okay, go off, I guess. So at the end of the day, Naruto decided that he was gonna go get some donuts, then go back home to sleep, considering the fact that tomorrow is the Chunin exams. Now, he did hear from Kakashi today saying that he wanted him to be there. However, he just ignored him, saying that he already knew about the Chunin exams and that he wants to continue his training. So, yes. So, by the way, if you guys are not 100% sure, or if you guys don't know all about all the abilities, I'll go ahead and explain them. The Muzo Donuts is practically Naruto just creating two big mochi donuts that just fly in the air or just levitate in the air, and from that he's able to create 2 ginormous arms. He's able to use the Shikata Mochi to create 2 ginormous arms that were wrapped up in haki, by the way. Yes, and he's able to use them he's able to make 2 mochi arms that were wrapped around in armament haki, and he's able to go ahead and create multiple of them and attack people. Now, if you guys, he actually went ahead and used this when he went ahead and fought Luffy using Gear 4th. Gear 4th Bounce Man. So, pretty much, yeah, that's, Katakuri is literally, I guess you could say Naruto is pretty OP at the moment. So, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do a time skip to the next day, considering the fact there's nothing else I could do. Oh yeah, and by the way, for the technique where he summons multiple of the Muzo donuts and the Chikara mochis, he calls it, I don't know how to say this right, Ginchaka, okay, Mochi Ginchaka, I'm pretty sure I said it. So practically it's the most powerful version of the Chikara Mochi, where he goes ahead and summons multiple mochi donuts around his opponent and shapes him into armament haki fist, and he's used them to pummel his opponent to the ground rapidly. So that means he's able to summon multiple of those arms and just practically destroy someone. So yeah, Naruto is OP right now. So after that very moment, Naruto had appeared once again, as he was now currently waiting for his team to arrive so they can start doing the Chunin exams. And right now, just on cue as he thought, both Sakura and Sasuke had just arrived. Now Sakura, as soon as she saw Naruto, she was going to ask him why didn't he appear for Kakashi's lecture and everything. However, he said that he already knew about the Chunin exams and that there was no point. She was about to berate him and tell him not to. However, once again, that presence, that pressure that Naruto gives off, shut her up. At this, Sasuke would just, grunt as he goes ahead and tells them come on, which they do so. Now, as they begin walking, Everyone will see like a bunch of people trying to get into a classroom as two kids were trying to guard that. Naruto, however, could look through it, already telling that this was a genjutsu, and already knowing that this was just, just two Chunins, the ones that were at the front gate, the two random dudes from Naruto that we do not know their names. And, I mean, I do know their names, but I do not know how to pronounce them, so, yeah, sorry. Naruto, now seeing this, would just go ahead and tell them to let's move around it, considering the fact that this will just give us, this will give us less competition. Plus, they cannot see through that genjutsu, then they do not belong to be here. At this, Sasuke wanted to go ahead and retort, but he thought about it a couple more times. He just grunted and walked away. Again, that superiority complex is getting in the way of everything. I don't even get why he's so acting as if he's so inferior to me and everything. I don't even care about this dude. Naruto had to admit, he didn't even see Sasuke as a friend or any colleague. He only sees him as a teammate, and that's it. After that, they are just strangers that have to work together. Now, as they continue walking, Naruto would then be stopped, including everyone else. As suddenly a voice would then speak up. Hey, you, the one with the attitude. At this, Sasuke wouldn't turn around, as Naruto wouldn't think, oh, so he knows he has an attitude, as he actually amused himself on that one. And suddenly Sasuke wouldn't ask, who are you? At this, Neji would then chuckle. I'm Neji Hyuga. At this, Sasuke wouldn't give a smirk. I'm Sasuke Uchiha. Now, at this point, Tenten would be thinking, ooh, he's cute and everything, as literally all this encounter would happen just like the same canon. However, Neji does not ignore Naruto, and Tenten definitely doesn't either. And she actually speaks up. And you are, she would say, as she eyes Naruto up and down. And she then thinks, is this team literally the definition of cute boy team? Like, literally, what the heck? Considering the fact that Naruto was not bad looking whatsoever. Naruto would look at her, as he was obviously the tallest one, all of them. As he goes ahead and speaks, I'm Naruto. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and that's all you need to know. At this, Tenten just blushes at his calm and nice, tone. However, Neji would look at him. Naruto Uzumaki, huh? Oh, very interesting, he would say. Tenten, come on. Neji will begin to walk away, and Lee would follow them. However, he then looks at Sasuke and also Naruto, as Naruto could already tell that this kid is just going to be asking. This kid is going to be asking for a fight. Now, Naruto had to admit, he doesn't really see himself really losing to anyone currently, and that means including Lee and Gaara. Now, Naruto could already tell Gaara had a lot of power. However, due to the fact of his training last night, and due to the fact that he's not going to be stopping training, not anytime soon, this just proved to him that, he was not really going to give up. However, Lee was a wonder, though. As they continue walking on, this is where Lee would then jump down, and he then says, you, the one with the attitude. At this, once again, Sasuke turns, as Naruto then says, I knew this guy knew he had an attitude. Just man, whatever. He will say this in his mind, however, he doesn't really want to say it out loud. It doesn't really suit his new personality. At this, Lee would then jump down as he goes ahead and gets in his taijutsu stance. I challenge you, Sasuke Uchiha. At this, Sasuke would then laugh. You really challenge me, even though you know who I am? At this, Lee would then nod. However, Naruto would then speak up. Sasuke, I could already tell that he's stronger than you. He had trained harder than you. I recommend that we leave now. At this, Sasuke would then look at Naruto. I can beat him just fine. His Sharingan flaring up, as Naruto was right now thinking in his mind, he's becoming too much of a risk. And if he doesn't get helped anytime soon, he will become a threat to the Hidden Leaf. We might have another Itachi on our hands. Naruto has read about Itachi Uchiha. He knows about the Uchiha clan massacre. And he knows that Sasuke is slowly but surely walking in his brother's own footsteps. So this means that Sasuke is becoming a problem. A problem that he really wants to take care of before he gets physical. So Sasuke would go ahead and fight Rock Lee. and Rock Lee would instantly demolish this guy. Even if Sasuke had the Sharingan, it was just impossible. Lee would kick Sasuke down to the ground as he gets sent flying, as he actually goes ahead and lands on the ground. At this, Lee wouldn't stop in his tracks. He then turns to Naruto. I would like to fight you as well. Naruto would take a page from Kakashi's book because he then says, "Huh? You said something?" At this, Lee would then grit his teeth. "Damn it, your cool hip attitude. I should have expected this from Guy Sensei's rival." At this, Naruto would look at him and then Lee would then say, "I declare you as my rival, Naruto." What? Thought Naruto. As for some reason, in a different part of the exams, you would then see a man with silver hair. He then, sneezes. Why do I have an urge to go ahead and beat the crap out of Guy now? At this, Naruto would just look at him until he just sighs. Alright, so what now? At this, Lee would then chuckle. I would like to test my abilities against you. Naruto would take a good look at Lee as he tells Lee that he is not on his level. He's not being cocky or anything, that he's just stating it. He was not like Neji would just say, "Oh, you're definitely not going to be able to beat me, you just can't." No, he will just say that you're currently not on my level. Now, Lee, taking this as an offense, he would then say, "Don't underestimate me." He would rush at Naruto at top speeds, with Naruto just looking at him. Now, Lee would go ahead and try to deliver a kick to Naruto's face. However, to everyone's shock, Naruto's face would then turn into mochi, as he would go ahead and make his face, go. He would go ahead and split his face in half, causing his face to go ahead and dodge Lee's blow. "What?" said Lee. He goes ahead and jumps away, actually creeped out by this fact, as Naruto's head would then return back to normal. Like I said, you won't be able to. Lee, in shock, would then ask, "How did you do that?" At this, Naruto would then look at him and then says, "That's not for you to know." Lee, gritting his teeth, would rush at Naruto at top speeds as he delivers a kick to Naruto's leg. However, once again, the same thing would happen, as Naruto's leg would then turn into mochi again, as Lee's kick would just go right through it. However, Naruto's leg would just be back to normal, and Naruto had not taken one drop of damage. He didn't take damage, thought Lee. He goes ahead and returns back at speed. He tries to hit Naruto, but each time Naruto would just transform into mochi and just dodge the attack. At this, Sakura was shocked, including Sasuke, who was watching this thing. "How? I can't copy you with my Sharingan. Just what the heck is the dope doing?" He couldn't believe his eyes. Naruto was just dodging it, and he was not even moving at all. He was standing in the same position the entire time. Lee tried to go ahead and try to do the hidden lotus, but Naruto's literally once again just turns to mochi and then avoids it. "I can't believe it. How?" thought Lee. As he goes ahead and accidentally falls on his butt, considering the fact that he accidentally slipped. "Well, Lee, it looks like that's enough. You have proven yourself powerful enough. You already defeated the Uchihas. I feel like that should satisfy you enough." At this, Lee would nod. He then says, "However, I had to tell you that during this exam, I'll prove that I can be a splendid ninja too," he would say. At this, Naruto would just look at him and nod, as Lee would go off to go find his own team. So, yeah. After this moment, Sasuke would rush up to Naruto and ask, "How the heck did you do that?" But Naruto just looks at him and then says, I don't have any reason to tell you. I don't see any way that's even gonna help you. So why don't you go ahead and leave me alone?" At this, Sasuke would grit his teeth in anger as he begins to walk off. Sakura would run off to Sasuke, try to cheer him up, saying that Lee got lucky. However, Sasuke would just yell at her to shut up. "Sasuke, you have no idea what you're doing. You're playing with fire at the moment, and trust me, this is not going. Right now, the way that you're leading, it will not end to a happy life." Naruto would begin to follow his teammates, following from behind them, considering the fact, well, why the heck not? As they continue on walking, they would eventually see Kakashi already there waiting for them. "Ah, hello. What happened?" he would ask, looking at Sasuke. Now, to answer his question, Naruto would actually begin to explain about all of it, all the way till Sasuke, and practically his match versus, Sasuke, Lee challenging him. However, as soon as he stopped explaining, all he did was just say that, Lee challenged him, and that was it. Now, Kakashi wondered about the results, and this is where Sakura had to speak up. Naruto went ahead and did this weird thing. His body was morphing into this white substance. Now, Kakashi would turn and look to Naruto. As he then speaks, it was Mochi. That was it. At this, Kakashi would just ask, how the heck did you do it? Now, Naruto wanted to really wonder, should he reveal his secret? Nah. Besides, he doesn't really trust any of them. Sasuke superior, especially if you tell Sasuke what he could do. Oh my god, this boy's superiority complex is just gonna blow the roof off this place, and he will definitely become a risk. At this, Naruto begins to explain that it was a certain genjutsu that he created. So, with that, Kakashi decided to believe him for now. He knew that Naruto was lying, but he must have a good reason. Plus, who knows, after the exams, he could probably confront him. So, with that, Kakashi would allow them to pass and, say good luck to them as they enter. Now, when they enter into the classroom, they would instantly see everyone in the room looking at them. However, most of them were just looking at Naruto, and most of them was the female population, as they were eyeing Naruto, while the guys would just glare at all of them, sending killing intent. Now, Naruto, looking at the killing intent, will then go ahead and try something. Let me see if I could. Alright, let's see. At this, suddenly Naruto would open his eyes as a large wave of Conqueror's Haki would then shoot out. This in turn causes them to be paralyzed, as some of them actually begin to fall unconscious while others get dropped to their knees. Even though Naruto was not a full master at it, but still, he's glad to see that it worked. And also to reinforce this, he had his own killing intent, causing the ones that were awake to actually begin to fall onto the ground, on all fours, kneeling in fear. Now, the ones that were still standing, however, were the ones that was the only people that were still standing were actually none. Most of them were just on the ground. Some of them were just lucky enough to be on their chairs. So that was the only ones that were actually still, still okay. However, they were still panting on their desk. Gaara, who was also who's actually now surprisingly, calm. However, the thing is, if anyone can really notice, especially Naruto, who actually already noticed this, Gaara was looking at him with crazy eyes and fear. What was that? What the hell was that? Gaara was now looking at Naruto with mad crazy eyes. As Sasuke and Sakura would also felt the presence that shot out, Naruto would actually look at him. What the heck was that? Asked Sasuke. Looking at everyone else, Sakura couldn't believe it. Naruto did this? Just what the heck is this? How? She couldn't understand. One day Naruto is a goofball of the class. The next day Naruto is this weird, powerful, cool person who was able to go ahead and scare the crap out of an entire room of people who were going to take the tuning exams. Now at this, Naruto would go ahead and begin to walk to his seat, now sitting down. At this, the person who was actually sitting down next to Naruto, looking at him, would begin to walk away, getting up and actually deciding to choose to get out of the exam. This in turn causes all the getting to actually begin to steadily return back to their seats. However, they were scared out of their mind to even look at Naruto, while Gaara was just looking at the man with crazy eyes. However, he did want to avert Naruto's gaze. At this, suddenly, Gaara would then hear a voice. "I see you," said the voice. Gaara would then see only the scarf, but this scarf was only belonged to one person that he knew. Naruto Uzumaki, Gaara would think, as he turns to Naruto, only to realize that the man had his eyes dead on him. Naruto had actually used a Chunkshin to appear behind Gaara in an instant and whispered those words to him, as he knows that Gaara's been keeping an eye on him, and he's also letting him know that he's also doing the same. At this, Gaara would develop a crazed smirk. "Your blood. Mother wants your blood. She wants it badly." As he'll have a crazy expression. Temari, who was actually looking at Naruto, and now was just thinking, first of all, was that bod? Then he had that aura, that crazy bloodlust. In fact, it may have even surpassed Gaara by a lot. And then there was whatever that thing was. Multiple students passed out. Guess what the heck is he? At this, Temari can't help but actually feel, actually impressed with Naruto, and had to admit, that man was a man. That was not a boy, that was a man right there. Now, after that moment, the rest of the Rookie 9 when they come in, as they will begin to discuss with themselves, throwing herself at Sasuke, while Sakura gets in, telling her to back off. Glad to see everyone else is here. Hey, where's that Naruto? Kiba would ask as he goes ahead and looks around. At this, you would then see Naruto, everyone would see Naruto just sitting down there, not even paying any attention to them at all. Naruto-kun, Ina would say, which actually caught Team Naruto off guard. She just looks at her like confused. Naruto-kun? Oh, no, she better back off. Now, if there's anything that Hinata hates more, it's when someone's trying to go after her man or her property. So she was low-key ready to go off on this Yamanaka. As suddenly, Ina would go ahead and peer around Naruto. She goes ahead and falls over him. Little did she know she was causing a large population of the female in the room to get very, very envious of her and begin to glare at her. As Naruto was actually looking at Ina like, what? Why the heck is she paying so much attention to me? Whatever. So he just goes ahead and ignores her, staying quiet. As Ino actually begins to, decide to take her seat next to Naruto, pissing off Hinata even more. That whore! She will say in her mind. As Hinata actually goes ahead and develops the courage and sits next on the other side of the seat next to Naruto. Now, again, more of the female population glare at Hinata now, as she took in the next seat that people actually wanted to take. Now, after the very moment, suddenly a voice would then come in. You guys should keep it down. At this, all the Rookie 9 would then turn to the voice, revealing it to be none other than Kabuto. Oh, who the heck are you? Said Kiba. And practically the turn of events that happened in canon would happen the same, all the way to the point where he begins to explain that his cards had the ability to tell about the other teams. Now Sasuke, hearing this, perked up. I want all the information on Naruto Uzumaki. At this, the Rookie 9 would look at Sasuke, but they just shrugged their shoulders. Our Ino would just look at it. She also wondered about the blonde, now that she had taken an interest about him. Hinata was also curious about her crush, as then Kabuto would then look at it. Alright. At this, he begins to read as his eyes would then widen. What the hell? Thought Kabuto. At this very moment, Naruto's observation haki would then kick in, as he instantly rushes off at low Jonin speeds, appearing right in front of Kabuto. At this, he will snatch a card out of Kabuto's hands. He didn't look at him. I'd much rather have my information private. Kabuto would be looking at Naruto and all. I couldn't track him. I couldn't track him at all. What the hell? At this, he narrows his eyes. I need to inform Lord Orochimaru about this. However, Naruto was having a different thought. He's a risk. Definitely a risk. And the scent of snake already tells me enough. He's working for Orochimaru. Naruto could easily tell that Kabuto was definitely a spy. Not only due to the help of his observation haki, but he also has been training with his senses. Don't think just because he's been working on his mochi and on his conqueror's haki and everything, he has not been working on anything else. He has been working on his speed, his power, practically he's been working on everything, working on every muscle. His endurance, his stamina, all of it. Now, after that, everyone who actually saw Naruto move at the speed couldn't believe their eyes. No one could track them. Gaara went wide-eyed when he saw it. Oh, Naruto Uzumaki. Mother craves your blood, he would think, as he begins to shake a little, causing Temari to actually begin to worry. That Uzumaki. He better pray to Kami that Gaara doesn't find him, because if he does, he's dead. At this, Kankuro had a similar thought. That kid is as good as a goner. If Gaara is getting this riled up, there's no way that kid could survive. Now, seeing the bloodlust that's directly towards him, he will then turn to Gaara as he then releases some of his conquerors haki, once again causing people to turn pale, some of them passing out again, and more bloodlust when shoot out of the room. This is what Ibiki will be walking into. He wouldn't look on at all. As the pressure actually hits him, he actually collapses down on one knee. What? Now some of the kids that were on the chair actually passed out, including some of the rookie 9, including Sakura, Sakura, Ino, and just those two. However, the rest of them got on their knees. What the hell? Thought Ibiki, as ultimately turning to Naruto, who still looked up, and would be looking down at all of them. At this, Naruto would then speak. Forgive me, but I do recommend that one of you gets in control, he would say. And then, Gaara, who actually felt the most out of it, who was actually now panting, would be on his actual knee, shocking Temari and Kankuro. He's strong. Way too strong. Now, if you guys are wondering about the Conqueror's Haki, it's still not mastered, and it's still not up to the level where Katakuri used it, so Naruto is still not there yet. However, it is strong enough to knock out people like, for example, Sakura and Ino, and also able to bring people like Ibiki down to his knees. But if Naruto were to go ahead and master it, he will be able to make people such as more actual Jonis to pass out, and people like Kakashi to actually kneel down. Now, after that moment, after a while, all of them began to get up, including Ibiki. However, he sensed fear as he turns to Naruto. This kid, just what the hell is he? What the hell was that? I better inform the Hokage about this kid. Now, Ibiki was not saying that Naruto was like because he already knew about Naruto and everything, but he just wondered what the heck was this? And he needs to go ahead and tell what he needs to report about the Uzumaki. Naruto would go ahead and take a seat, and eventually Ino would have waken up, still in her chair, of course, as this would be the beginning of the exams. So, let's see, how much time do I have? Okay, I have a couple more, until it's an hour at least. Yeah, so they go ahead and begin they'll go ahead and begin the exams. Ibiki would have already explained to them all the rules and everything, and at hearing the rules, Sasuke and Sakura Sasuke would look at Sakura, and Sakura would just look at Naruto. He did change, but I don't think Naruto is even remotely good enough to answer all those questions, she would say. She still, even though Naruto was definitely stronger and more strategic, she thought that he wasn't book smart. He was not smart enough. However, unbeknownst to her, Naruto already knew most of the stuff in the books and everything, so she's wrong about that. As Ibiki would begin, Sakura would continue writing. She didn't realize, holy crap, these questions are hard. If I can barely answer them, there's no way Naruto could. What? She would then scream in her mind, of course, considering if she did, that would just be embarrassing. She would see Naruto already writing down there calmly, and act as if these questions were nothing. Everyone else that were actually listening to the finger tapping, including Ibiki, would just look at this kid. What? He's not even stalling. He's not even looking at the paper. At this, Ibiki would think that maybe he's just getting arrogant. He's not writing down anything. So he goes ahead and thinks he was gonna go ahead and call out Naruto until he catches a glimpse of his paper. Wait a minute. He's answering right. He couldn't believe his eyes. Naruto was answering right. He wasn't even looking at the paper. It was almost as if he knew these questions just by its nature alone. Has he taken this test before? Wondered Ibiki. As the tests continue on, Naruto would eventually finish putting it all down. So he goes ahead and crosses his hands and just mostly begins to think in his mind. Now inside his mind, he was running for more use of his abilities, including trying to extend his range of jutsus. Now he actually came out with a couple of jutsus a little bit earlier in the day before he arrived there, considering the fact that, well, he still had a little bit of time to train, and he was going to make the most, considering the fact he already knew about the tuning exams, and the fact that as soon as you were done with the as soon as you are done with everything, you will have a 1 month training time. So he was gonna make sure to get strong enough to win. Now, after this, Sakura was in shock, considering the fact he even answered these questions faster than her. I can't believe this. Sasuke, who had just been copying with his Sharingan, he was answering the questions as remotely fast as Naruto. However, low-key, okay, I feel like I need to discuss this real quick. Why the heck did Ibiki not catch Sasuke, Neji? Like, how the heck did he not catch them? And before you say, oh, they were all in the back, no, there were multiple other tunings there to be watching this. And you're telling me that not one of them saw the Uchiha and Hyuga, which they already know their dojutsu. Did you just be looking at someone and just copying down their answers? Bull crap. If I was a teacher and I saw that shit, I'd be like, dude, are you serious? You're out. So I'm not gonna lie, Sasuke should have lost the entire thing for his team. He literally should have lost the entire thing for his team. Not even gonna lie. So, and Neji too, and Tenten, and Kiba. A lot of them were cheating in a bad way. The only one who was doing good, for example, was that Zaku person who was actually using sound waves to write down his answers. That was the only one. That was one of the only few that got away. But the rest of them, heck no. I would have caught their ass in action, bruh. They could go ahead and try lying all they want. So, yeah, I just wanted to get that off my shoulders, but let me continue on. Now, after a while of writing down everything, Ibiki was just looking at the clock, as he then says, alright, now it's finally time for the 10th question, he would say. At this, all of them would begin to sweat and everything. However, Naruto would just look at him, and after his observation haki, as he could already tell what he was already going to tell what he's going to say. The 10th question was just a way to intimidate them. After a while, multiple people began to get out, considering the fact they just couldn't suffer the 10th question. However, finally, after a while, Ibiki would then smile. Well, and by the way, there were more people that got out, considering the fact that Naruto didn't give his speech. So yeah. Well, congratulations, you have all passed. At this, everyone was just silent, until all of them began to say, what? And well, most of them. Some of them just stayed quiet. As this, Ibiki began to explain about how this was all waiting for you to go ahead and just capture, get intel. At this, all of them would just look dumbfounded, and they couldn't really believe this. Now, Ibiki would then chuckle. He then began to walk up to collect the papers. However, just before he did that, though, a lady would then bust in. "All right, maggots, let's go to the forest of death," she would say. At this, Naruto would already know this voice, and he would actually go a little bit sour on the inside. However, on the outside, he still put up a brave face and everything. However, on the inside, he actually felt sick. Oh, great. It's her. Naruto knew of the lady that owned the Forest of Death, and also the same lady who had been keeping an eye on him, and he would talk to her sometimes. Not really wanted to get really involved with her. But you had to admit, she was a strong person. He remembered when she actually tried to fight Naruto, trying to tell him we see how strong you are. However, he declined on her offer each and every time. She did try to cut his cheek, but he would just dodge it like it was nothing. So now that he realized that she was the proctor of the next exam, Naruto could only sigh. Just hope she doesn't mention me. At this, we will see Uncle Mitarashi appear in all her glory. She begins to say how she's sexy and single. At this, Ibiki would just slap his hand on his forehead. "Uncle, you're early again." At this, Uncle would go ahead and give a sheepish grin, as she realized that a lot of people went ahead and fell. "Wow, Ibiki, glad to see you're not losing it." At this, Ibiki would just nod, as he begins to collect the paper. However, as soon as he goes ahead and stops by Naruto's, he would then look at it. He's seen multiple people doodle on their papers. He's seen multiple people not do anything on their papers. It was actually quite rare to see some people go ahead and do, it was quite rare to see people go ahead and actually just write nothing. However, he never once gotten a message from someone. As Naruto had answered all the questions correct, however, there was something else. When he read Naruto's little note, Naruto began to explain something. Hey, Ibiki, there's something I need to inform you. Currently, right now, I think I found a little roach. I think I found a little snake that's been trying to get a little slippery rogue into our village again. His name is Kabuto. I want you to inform the Hokage about this. He had information that should have been allowed. He nearly got information on me. And I'm actually curious if he could have found out my Jinchuriki status. Now, at this, Ibiki's eyes were widened as he then forgot, as he couldn't believe that Naruto actually knew that he was the, Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. But right now, he couldn't really focus on that. So we have a snake, he would say. As he goes ahead and sighs, as he thinks, Orochimaru, he would think and mutter under his breath as he goes ahead and vanishes in his junction. Now with Team 7, they are now outside ready to get their scrolls, as Uncle would tell them about to sign the waiver and to get their collector scrolls. At this, they all do so, as Naruto would go ahead and get the scroll for his team. Now, as soon as he did try to get his scroll, Uncle would actually go ahead, grab him by the arm, and wink at him. As she would then say out loud, "Hey kid, you better not destroy our home, remember?" At this, Naruto would nod, considering the fact that Uncle had decided, hey, this is now Naruto's home as well, considering the fact that he's been at the Forest of Death just as long as she's been now. Even though she's been a little bit longer than him, still, it was like a home for both of them. As Naruto will go ahead and just nod, taking the scroll, as he will go ahead and walk back to his team until Sakura speaks up. "Hey Naruto, what the heck were you talking with that lady?" At this, Naruto would just look at her as he then says, "Sakura, it's none of your business. Remember, we're just teammates. I don't need to tell you about my life." At this, Sakura would just be offended as she just humps, muttering something about stupid Naruto not going ahead and telling me stuff. Now, Sasuke actually went ahead and go a step further. "Well, guess what? I demand you tell me." Once again, Naruto will go ahead and send some bloodlust towards Sasuke, telling him to shut up. As Naruto would then speak. "Sasuke, again, what gives you the right to demand me? I don't give a damn. You are just a teammate. Nothing more, nothing less. Don't even consider me a friend of yours. I'm not your rival, I'm not your friend. We're just colleagues, and that's it." Sasuke would actually gulp. However, for some weird reason, he was hurt. That actually stung. Because literally, in his mind, he'd been considering Naruto as some sort of rival. And he thought that Naruto sort of was like the same way. However, after hearing that word, that believing that Naruto didn't even think of them as friends or anything at all, he didn't even care, made Sasuke get mad. As Sasuke's mind and superiority complex began to skyrocket, he just thinks I'm not worthy. He thinks we're not even strong enough to even match him. Naruto, he promised himself that he will get stronger and that he will make sure that Naruto regret those words. So after that moment, Naruto and them will then go ahead and face the tree, as it was now the beginning of the second part of the Chunin exams. So, with all that being said, this is where I'm going to end the video. I hope you guys do enjoy. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this part a lot. I feel like I got ahead and made Naruto a little bit more powerful. I mean, he's not that powerful. I feel like I'm going to get roasted in the comments just for saying that. But I hope you guys do enjoy. And either way, it is Great Zage. And I am out. Peace.